Welcome
to the J&O Show,
where we talk about
why dating is broken in 2024 and what boomers don't understand.
Okay, team, I want to talk about the dating market and just general relationships in 2024. This is something that no other generation understands except Zoomers and maybe millennials, and that is dating is totally broken. Me and my brother, I'm 26. My brother is a little older than me, and we are undoubtedly the first men in our entire ancestral lineage, going back like thousands of years, to not be married by the age of about 22 or 23. Okay. My parents, my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, my great-great-great-great, as far back as you go, it just gets younger, right? And this idea, the fact that there's so many people about the age of 30, even older than that and younger than that, that aren't in long-term relationships, that aren't married, it's creating a very different world from our parents and even from our grandparents. They can't understand. My parents were talking to me the other day. They're like, you know, why aren't you in a relationship? Blah, blah, blah. They think it's me overcomplicating it. Like, oh, I'm looking for a unicorn, or oh, my standards are too high, and my standards are really high. But also, they don't understand that the entire...
They think my standards are really high, and my standards are very
really
high.
Bruh, that might be why you single, dog.
Possibly, yeah.
You say they don't understand it, but they might still be right. Two things could be true at the same time.
Yeah.
The older people might 100% not understand the dating market, and they don't. And we don't. Well, I do, but only because I do this show. Yep. And I've had so many conversations and so many back and forths with so many of you that I see what's happening. They're still right. You still doing too much because relationships are not as complicated as we're making it. We're trying to science up all of the things that people were just like, we just gonna figure it out and never let each other go. And we can say, oh, well, you know, the marriage rate wasn't great. What you guys are doing is not better. Statistically, it's not better. You're not doing any better. The only difference is y'all alone.
Field and sexual market of dating is totally flipped on its head right now. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. The biggest problem with dating today is a lack of familiarity and friend groups that interact with other friend groups. This is so important. The lack of familiarity is crushing dating.
Bruh.
That boy smart.
We only been saying this for I don't know how long.
That boy smart.
Yep. Date within your peer groups.
Maybe he gonna say it in a way where other people can understand it though.
And it's because of how men relate to the dating market and how women relate to the dating market, which we're gonna get into. So back in the day, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, if you went to the park on a sunny, beautiful day like this, there's probably going to be hundreds of young people playing sports, playing games, interacting, open to socializing. Same thing with the beach, the town square, like wherever, right? And that's because there's no phones. Okay, things changed really drastically in the past decade with social media and with phones. You go to the gym, for instance, it used to be this temple of like...
This is what I will say. If you go to the beach, it's pretty much the same. There are more people on the phones than there would have been because there were no phones at that time, or the phones were not how they are now. But if you actually leave your house and go to the beach and to the park, there is a lot more people out and about because the park and the beach is a different environment than the gym. The gym is just locked into your schedule. We just getting things done. I probably got to be out of here in 45 minutes. I ain't got no time to talk to you. It's a part of my daily schedule. But you go to the beach and to the park, I have some leisure time, except for the people that's like, you know, doing a daily run, you know, because they have running groups now that they get together and they do their running and stuff. So they probably still on schedule and stuff like that. But especially the beach and a lot of times the park too, you'll see people that are there just to relax. Like that's the purpose. So that is that is not totally different than...
It is different in the sense that like if you are at the beach or at the park and you're looking around, most of the people, if they're not in the water, like say for example on the beach, they're on their phone.
You know what? The last couple of times we went to the beach, I didn't see a lot of people on their phones.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not saying that nobody was on their phones, but most people were just talking to each other. They were in the water.
I don't know.
Park, most people are like exercising, riding bikes, playing with the kids. It's not exactly the same. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's exactly the same. There are more people on the phones in certain places than it used to be, obviously, because they didn't have the technology back then.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that there are certain places like the park and the beach where most people are there just to relax. If you go to a gym, most people are in their daily schedule. They still don't have time.
True.
Of like social, like, upliftment, right? You and your boys are all talking. No one has earphones in. Think about going to the gym and no one has earphones in, right? Everyone's listening to the same music and talking, slapping each other on the back. There's more relationships in general. And this translates to going out, walking the streets, going to the park. There's much more of a sense of open cohesion in public with community. Just imagine the town square, the park, 25 years ago. You go out, you see 5 people you've seen around town, around the city before. Hey, what's up, Mark? Yeah, I'm going to join you for some badminton or whatever. Mark's hanging out with a friend group with 5 other guys and 3 ladies, and you know one of the ladies peripherally, so you start talking them up, and they introduce you to other people. And that's how community should evolve, is this intermingling and this spreading. The problem is you go to the park, everyone's sitting with 1 or 2 or 3 other people, and if they're alone, they have earphones in and are petting their dog. Like, everyone is so isolating right now. And it's so easy because the moment that you...
I do feel like that's true. There's a lot of isolation.
There is.
And the Rona didn't help with that.
No, it made it worse.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, guys, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit the subscribe button. I need you to hit the notification button. I need you to hit all the buttons. Thank you.
The moment that you feel bored or you feel insecure, you go on your phone, you disconnect, you do something else. So there's lack of large group familiarity, and there's lack of this courage to create it. Even for someone like me, and I try to approach someone every day, when people are just in their small little group or they have their headphones and are doing their own thing, it makes approaching like really difficult. And I think I know that was different before, and that makes connecting really hard today because now we live in a totally unfamiliar, disconnected world. And unfamiliar worlds create short-term dating strategies, which we're going to get into. So in familiar dating scenarios, this is high school, this is college, okay? And these two things have a monopoly on socialization. I didn't go to college, and a lot of people who don't go to college are always stuck in the unfamiliar world. So the familiar world is maybe 200 people of the opposite sex, right? And 200 people of the opposite sex are familiar with you. They've seen you around, they've seen you interact, and maybe 10 of them, are even more familiar with you. When you're familiar, when the opposite sexes are familiar with each other, there's much more long-term dating strategies taking place. Women aren't just all going for the cutest, hottest, and most smooth guy. And also, they're getting to know many guys, right? And then they're choosing for what would actually be a good partner for me, whose personality, whose looks, whose vision and values most match me. And that's what good dating should be, is who's going to be a good match for me. If you're a 10 in terms of personality and looks, right? You're going to find another 10 in terms of personality and looks, 9 to 9, 8 to 8, something around there, right? What happens in unfamiliar situations, and this is dating apps, and this is also clubs. This is where young people, I can't meet young people anymore. Okay. This is so hard for me. I'm 26. I go out all the time, coffee shops, parks, dances, concerts, things like that. It's really hard for me to find other young people my age because they're all going to clubs or they're on dating apps, which is a great tragedy because all those places are unfamiliar. And when you do see girls your age out at the gym, out at the park, out at the coffee shop, they're always occupied on their phone or with friends. And it makes the approach much harder, although I still do it, right? So basically
It's amazing because I don't think that a lot of people realize how much technology has changed the game when it comes to dating. It's so funny because I saw a comment on this video that somebody posted and said 20 years ago, the only requirement to get a girlfriend was owning a car. I'm like, yo, that is so true. We just needed to know that you had transportation. So, so you come see me or I can come see you. Somebody had to have transportation because, how's we going to get somewhere?
I don't even think that's necessarily true.
Well,
I don't even think that's necessarily true.
You didn't necessarily have to have a car, but that helped the situation.
Of course, it always does.
Yeah.
But that's the guy that all the girls used to go for in high school was the guy. Oh my gosh, girl, he has a car. That's true. That was a thing, but that was more in movies than in real life. The reality is,
as long as we had a way to see each other. Yep. He used to ride his bike, y'all.
Well, you got that right.
Whole nother town. I rode that bike over to the next town.
Sure did. He used to ride his bike over.
I used to take that half-hour, 40-minute ride.
It really is different. No, I agree with a lot of what he has, what he's had to say thus far. I definitely think that technology has made a huge difference. That's something, to be quite honest, that I don't really think that I've put much thought into. Like, it's like I knew it, but I didn't really think about it, you know, because that's true. You're less likely to approach someone if they seem like they're preoccupied or they're busy. And if someone is always on their phone, most people, when you go out in public, if they're always on their phone, it makes it that much more difficult for somebody to approach you. And I can imagine, especially for guys, you know, having to approach a girl, you know, some guys it's not a big deal because they do it all the time. But then some, you know, it's intimidating, you know, first of all. And then for you to be distracted, it's just like, well, I don't know if I want to approach them because they might actually be busy doing something. I don't want to like annoy them. I don't want them to give me a reaction that's going to make me feel a certain type of way. And I know this was a while back. I think we did a video at Instagram where a girl was talking about like how guys don't approach her or guys don't approach anymore, like basically talking about the dating market. And I never thought about it. Like, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why, is because a lot of times when we're out and about like that in the streets, like if we're always preoccupied, if we're not just taking the time to kind of like just be in the present and stop being on these devices, like that can make a huge difference. Yeah. So,
So now, here's my thing. I don't know if I'm just way sexier than I think I am. I think I'm okay. I think I'm a good 5'6". You know, I think there you go. There you go. Rub the head. Right. I'm a good 5'6". I'm average, slightly above average looks wise. I think I'm a handsome guy, but I know I ain't no 8, 9, or 10. Nope. You know what I'm saying? I gotta gain at least 3-4 inches of height to be an 8, 9, or 10. But I make up for it because even though y'all never see it, I can dress my behind off. So I always look good when I walk outside the house, as good as I could possibly make myself look. You know, I do know I do that. I do the dressing thing. I fly. Just letting you know. Anyway, so look. I don't know, but when I go out,
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Bruh. When I go out, now I'm not the person that's all up on their phone the whole time, right? I am when I go to the supermarket, because if I'm not, I'm gonna forget everything. So I got a list that I gotta find stuff out on. I always have the list, but that's all I got on my phone, my list, right? I'm not a huge social media guy, so maybe that is part of what makes it different. Maybe the thing that everybody got to do to make this dating market better is just put your daggone phones down, because I don't be on the phone that much because I'm not a big social media person. When I go out, I tend to get a lot of people chatting me up. Yep. I do. I mean, for as much as I go out, I don't go out a lot. I work from home. But when I go out, I can't go a week without having a conversation with somebody. You ain't lying. I can't. Always. And I think that's a part of it. We're thinking just about a relationship. Just making connections with people can sometimes lead to relationships. That's how we got together. Yeah. It's because of a connection that we didn't make. We weren't even looking at each other like that for the first year that we knew each other. We were just cool and chilling out because our moms knew each other. Right. So people do need to put down their devices. That's the reason why I picked this clip. I want y'all to go back, check out his content, because it was a really good video with a lot of truth in it. But I will say, maybe a part of it, outside of just them being occupied on their phones, is the way you carry yourself. Are you approachable? Yes. Because this was something that was a thing even back then. I didn't used to get approached as much when I lived in Jersey because I looked like somebody who lived in Jersey. I was small too. You know how small guys are. We got to prove ourselves. I used to get out of my car, bro. I used to have a scowl on my face because I didn't want nobody to mess with me. Oh, boy. And I was just like, yo, if you mess with me, I'm going to stab you. That's just, I had that face because that's really how I was thinking. Wow. I was like, I'm too small to be messing with y'all big behind dudes out here walking around, you 6 foot and 200 pounds and whatever. I'm walking around, I'm 150 pounds. Yes, I'm going to stab you. That was my mentality. And I looked like it. Now I done gained, 20 pounds. Okay. I finally grew into myself. But I also met you.
I was just supposed to say that you met Jesus.
And the way that I carry myself is different. And the reason I have these conversations with people that I was telling you about before is because the way I carry myself is like I'm approachable.
Right.
And it's not always some young girl or some lady my age that's talking to me. It'll be grown people. It'll be old people. It'll be people sort of in between. It'll be people that I know are younger than me. It'll be girls. It'll be guys. It'll be somebody that like, yo, I like what you dressed in. I just talk to people just because the way that I carry myself is like, you can talk to this guy. He's not going to bite your head off because you say hi to him. And people pick up on that and they approach. So in addition to what he's saying, which is definitely a factor, check how you walking and how you're acting. Now, if you live in certain places, if you still in Newark, to all my Trinity Temple people, how y'all doing? I'm talking to y'all. To all my Rosa Parks people in Jersey, what's up? Y'all don't know me, but I'm just saying because I went there. To all my people in Rutgers, I'm talking to y'all. Because they got the nerve of having Rutgers and Camden. I don't know. And in Newark. I don't know what the heck they was thinking. I got approached by gang members outside of my campus at Rutgers, Newark. That part. So, right? If you in certain places, I understand. It's just rougher there. You gotta protect yourself. But for a lot of us, we not in that situation and we still walk around unapproachable and wonder why don't nobody want to approach us.
Well, sometimes some of us just don't know that we got a resting
Yo,
face.
her resting face back in the day, I heard about this. I didn't experience it because the way we were introduced, her walls were automatically down because we were introduced in a safe environment where she didn't have to protect herself, I guess. But apparently she was walking around looking like, what was the show we used to watch? Nikita. Or, I don't know, Elektra, Psylocke. I don't know, what's another Marvel superhero that's a woman that looked like she kick everybody but any one of them. Wonder Woman, any one of them. That was her. She used to have this face like, I'm gonna kick your behind, apparently. That's what she was told.
Listen. It's just a defense mechanism. I didn't know. You don't know. No, because I used to walk to school, and stuff like that. So you couldn't just be walking around just all like free and just happy.
So just to let y'all know, that plays a lot into whether or not people approach you.
It's sad, but
because
true.
That's something I've experienced since I've changed that energy that I give off ever since we moved down the South. That's been the thing.
Yep. Okay. Well, I see this video is getting long. We've been kind of chatty.
Well, no, he took up a lot of time. That man took up like 5-6 minutes.
Really?
Yes, he did.
It's 19 minutes long.
He took 5-6 minutes. That means we only had 13. Going on 14.
Comment down below and let us know your thoughts. What do you guys think about this? What he shared and what we shared as far as the dating market is concerned. Do you think that technology is definitely playing a part in it? Is it hurting us? And if so, what are you willing to do about it?
Go check his video. He had a lot of great points in there. That's why I decided to react to it. Check out his video. Check out his channel. The dude is obviously very smart. And see if you can get something out of it.
Yeah. If you guys made it this far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, and give us a thumbs up. So that way YouTube knows that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down.
All right.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe. And the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket. And we can really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Press the out button.